There can only be one winner, and you're looking at him. Let's go. Kaboom.
YouTube, new skill changes, and a new ban list. Before I reveal the ban list, there's three things I want to show you. I want to show you the current ban list. I want to show you the tier list. I want to show you what skills are being used, and we'll quickly see how that will affect all of that. So let's quickly look at the forbidden list, how it looks right now. This is the last forbidden list that happened, and it was a hefty change. It was big changes. God damn. So far limited to one are all of these cards. Nothing new is limited to one. But if a card is limited to one, that means you stick your hand in the bag of all the limited to one cards. You can only pull one out. You can't play Massive Morph with Dinah. So if you're a TCG player, that's the big change. The biggest reason why that's relevant is anything that's semi-limited to two. We have a lot of powerful cards semi-limited to two. Konami likes to put big card type specific cards on the semi-limit so they cannot use them with Hatronade, with Treacherous, with Enemy Controller. And then now we have stuff like Pulse Mines 2 being used in Karakuri. They can't use them with Enemy Controller. For example, boom. What's the tier list look like right now? Koa'ki Meiru Vampires are tier 1, so that means the ban list should hit these two cards, these two decks, right? Wrong. Ban list is not only about balancing the game, it's also about making the game fresh, and these are two relatively new decks, I'd say so. Some could argue that Vampires should be hit. Koa'ki Meiru is brand spanking new, December 31st. This is being recorded January 10th, so no way, man. We have Control decks, which is not really a deck type specific deck. How would you hit this? You could hit the skill. Mass Heroes have been around for a very long time, but on the recent selection box list, it shows that they are giving us Masked Heroes. Again, Mass Change and Anki. So that would seem kind of weird to hit them on the ban list and also give it to us at a discounted reprint. So that would be kind of awkward. Buster Blader is, I'd say, too new to hit. Spellbooks, I think, is the oldest deck alongside Masked Heroes. So let's see what happens with that. Let's also look at the skills being used on the top decks page, the stats. Balance is a top use from Koa'ki Meiru's. Bandit and Vampires, I don't think Bandit should be hit. I don't think Balance should be hit. Level Augmentation, no way. What grows in the graveyard? I would almost expect them to hit this because it seems unintended to use it with Junk Synchron. It's probably supposed to be used with plant type tuners, but all right. Also, Blue Eyes, which is not doing so well lately. I expected for Arcana skill to maybe be hit because that skill should be used with Dark Magician according to the lore, the role play, and according to previous nerfs they've done, like 3-star demotion should only be used with Gate Guardian pieces according to Konami. So, but the main thing I see here that a lot of decks are using, the universal skill that I feel is quite restrictive, quite oppressive, is Sealed Tombs. Sealed Tombs being used in Koa'ki Meiru, Vampires. It can be used in almost every deck. If your deck does not depend on a specific skill, then you fall back onto Sealed Tombs. So I would hope to see that on the skill change, just to shake stuff up. It's been around for a while. Let's see what they actually did. The skill change is going to happen January 16th. About the skill rebalancing, let's quickly see. Lots of skill changes, no Sealed Tombs, but we have Harpy's Will and Miracle Fusion Time being the two skills that stand out from the rest. All of these skills here are basically just 1,000 life point skills where if you lose 1,000 life, you could search your deck for a deck type specific card like Cyber Dark Style, 1,000 life. Search for a Cyber Dark. You could activate it up to 3 times in a duel. If you only have 4,000 life for every 1,000 you lose. It's during the draw phase though. These are all draw phase. My favorite ones out of all these is Bring It and the Kaiba Corp Bling. Let's talk about that. Bring It can be used each time your life points is decreased by 1,000. Instead of conducting your normal draw, you could add a level 8 Dark Warrior type monster from your deck to your hand. It says to your hand from your deck. Witch Raider, level 8 Dark Warrior, a great add for a trap heavy deck. But if you're playing a trap heavy deck, a lot of people were playing Endless Trap Hell. So maybe you want to consider, instead of playing Endless Trap Hell, maybe you want a more consistent way to add your Vision Hero Witch Raider. Also, some people in the chat were quite excited for Plasma. Plasma is a level 8 Dark Warrior that you can add with the skill, so quite exciting. Now we move on to Kaiba Corp Bling. Now this is quite concerning for me. I'm not happy about this. Each time your life points are decreased by 1,000, you could randomly add a glossy/prismatic card from your deck. This used to be 1,800 life. People are going to use this like Destiny Draw. If you have an obvious add to your deck like Amazoness Princess or Bujin Yamato, not as versatile as Destiny Draw, but this might create some sort of pay-to-win issue where you have to super pay-to-win on a specific card to make sure you get a glossy or prismatic version of it. We'll see, though. We'll see. Just keep your eye on it. The two skills we want to talk about is Flay the Harpies and also, not Flay the Harpies, Harpies Last Will and Miracle Fusion Time. The rest are all the same, 1,000 life point loss. Search your deck for a certain card type, okay? Harpies Last Will. It used to require 5 Harpies in the grave. You have to banish 5 Harpies, add a Harpies Feather Duster. What is that? Feather Duster. Destroy all of your opponent's back row cards. That's an incredible card. It's crazy, but requiring 5 Harpies in the grave and having to banish them, totally not cool. Now it just requires 4 more Harpies, and you do not have to banish. You just have to have 4 more Harpies in the grave, and then you can activate the skill to add Harpies Feather Duster. And you could also still use cards like Powerful Rebirth to summon your Harpies on the field so you don't get turned off from that. Also, Hysteria Party, summon all your Harpies from the grave onto the field. Definitely a great change. Will it make Harpies tier 1? No, but probably good enough for a competitive Harpy YouTube video. Miracle Fusion Time. Miracle Fusion Time, what does that do? Miracle Fusion Time, the new change is now, if you're at 2,000 life or below, you could add a Miracle Fusion in the draw phase. Miracle Fusion is released as a card. You could play 3 in your main deck, but now you could add it also. Your 4th card, your 4th Miracle Fusion can be added in the draw phase. Is this skill good? I don't know. I think it competes with another skill that might be better for Elemental Heroes. Instead of losing 2,000 to search for a Miracle Fusion, and it doesn't search, it adds 1 from outside the duel to your hand, so you still retain the 3 in your deck. I think Heroes Duel is probably going to be better if you're going to use a life point skill. Can be used if you're at 3,000 or below, play Skyscraper, and Skyscraper, what does that do? Skyscraper says, when an elemental hero attacks a monster that is bigger, you gain 1,000 attack. So you probably use this skill instead, or maybe you would just use Balance or Sealed Tomb, since those are good generic skills. On the topic of Sealed Tombs, my overall skill changes, I go, where is the Sealed Tombs nerf? Where is the Sealed Tombs nerf? I feel like it should be nerfed. I don't like that Sealed Tombs can be used in every deck. It's very oppressive. You what, mate? So unhappy about that. And I'm also surprised that the Arcana Trick Up the Sleeve skill was not touched. Not that it was broken, not that it should be nerfed, but due to previous skill changes, that would, be in line with why they should change it, because Arcana's skill is obviously for Dark Magician, and Akiza's skill, which adds a Dark Verger to the grave, is obviously supposed to be for plant tuners and not for Junk Synchron, just based off the lore. Let's move on. Ban list will be January 24th. Woo, this is spicy. What are ban lists for? Ban lists have multiple reasons. A ban list has 2 purposes: to balance the game and make the game feel fresh. So not every change is about, oh, that card's too broken. And not every balance change is also not about, oh, that means that this card's better than everything we have right now. Usually ban lists will not touch a brand new top tier deck, even if it's the most played deck, the best deck ever, because that new deck is keeping the game fresh. It's new, it's top tier. A lot of people already invested money and time into it. They only do that if the deck is truly broken, like Cyber Angels on release. 2 weeks later, they hit it with the ban list. So if you're expecting Koa'ki Meiru to be on here, you're going to be disappointed. Let's see. Spell Book of Fate. You what, mate? To Fate. What does this mean? So to really look at what this means, we're going to have to go on the Duel Links Meta website. We're going to have to look at a spellbook deck. Spellbooks, here's an example spellbook deck. All right, the immediate change is you can no longer use Treacherous Trap Hole in your spellbook deck. Wow. Okay. And to Fate, what does that mean? Honestly, I don't think putting Fate to 2 is that huge of a nerf. It's still very easily recycled. You can recycle it very easily with Eternity. You use your first fate, and then your second fate banishes the first fate to add it back with Eternity, and then you could just keep doing that cycle with Eternity. It could cause the deck to run out of steam a little earlier, but you know, usually I would really like to analyze the duels of how often 3 fate is even that important. So this 22 card deck would just go to 20 cards. You take out 1 Treacherous, you take out the fate. It's still a very powerful deck, and I do like that you no longer could steal games with Treacherous. So a slight slap on the wrist. Does it kill the deck? I don't think it kills it from where it currently is. It does lower the power level a little bit, and this is an old deck. It's been around for a very long time, and I think it did deserve a slap on the wrist, finally. So many ban lists before this, people kept saying, whoa, they didn't touch spellbooks again. They didn't touch spellbooks. Well, they finally did it. They finally found that it was the right time to hit spellbooks. Was never truly a tier 1 deck, but it's been relevant since release, and it's time to slap it a little. Just a tiny slap. So good change. Silent Sword Slash, that's a poggers change. This is a true balancing change. This is not about keeping the game fresh. This is about balancing the game. This means through internal testing, they believe that Silent Sword Slash is too powerful. Before what? Why? Well, if you are paying attention, dummy, you would know that Silent Swordsman is coming, and it's coming very soon. We're getting Silent Swordsman, which is similar to Silent Magician, and you know, a lot of people like to say Konami are dumb and they don't test their game. This shows me that they do test their game, because otherwise it does not really make too much sense to semi-limit Silent Sword Slash. But if you're a conspiracy theorist, and you're a DLM fan, which you should be, Meta Weekly 52, if we do a deep dive, first place AO to Juice Man, Silent Sword Slash, that's right. That's not too long ago where this did win a Meta Weekly. I know Konami likes to watch the Meta Weekly in the MCS. This was how long ago? December 28th. Maybe AO to Juice Man is the reason that Silent Sword Slash got semi-limited to 2. Just for more context, he was the only Silent Sword Slash player in the entire tournament. Why is this worth nerfing? Their reason is this card will be limited because it is very powerful and there are very few counters. Well, why are there very few counters? Because this card says this card cannot be negated. Well, how do you counter a card that can't be negated? God damn it. Apparently you can't. And it's also very powerful. That's true. It's a quick play. It can be used in the damage step. You gain a permanent 1500 attack onto a Silent Swordsman monster. And it's also completely unaffected by all other card effects from your opponent. You're immune from Sphere Kribo, Canadia, all that craziness. And you can also banish this card from the grave to search for a Silent Swordsman. Very powerful. I think that this is very similar to just preemptively doing what they did to other deck types, which we may see more often. Like, you know how Celestial's semi-limited? They just don't want you to use Silent Sword Slash with your Hatronade and Econ and your Treacherous. So that's pretty much the balance. They're just putting powerful cards on the semi-limit. So you have to put more thought into building your deck instead of just dumping these into every new deck. Very preemptive. Now, Baby Tiger, also on the ban list. Honestly, I feel like this is the ban list, and then after they were done doing this from internal testing and just slapping a deck that's been relevant for so long, I think they passed around the ban list and they're just like, hey, are there any last minute changes? Would you like to add anything that's not too relevant, that's not really a big deal, it's going to change the game too much? And I think they all decided, sure, let's take Baby Tiger off. Why would they do this? Did this revive the tier 1 Amazon deck that everyone hated to love to hate? Baby Tiger, if you summon an Amazon monster on the field, you could special summon Baby Tiger from the grave or hand. So it's like a free banish with your onslaught. Swing in, banish, it keeps coming back from the grave. Very cool. This deck, I think, would be improved with Baby Tiger and would not break the deck. So not going to be too relevant. Maybe some more people will play it. I don't think it will add it to the tier list. But so I think it was a good change. Good change. It's always good to look at the older decks, just like they did with Red Eye Zombie. Red Eye Zombie, they took Red Eye Spirit off the ban list, and then nothing happened. Everyone was like, woo, dancing crabs, Red Eye Zombie time. Konami knew what they were doing. They knew the deck would still not be relevant, and that's probably the same thing they're doing right here, just to lessen the ban list and also make this seem, more worthwhile. This is just fluff. It's fluff. Let's see the other deck list. Junk Synchron. Maybe with Junk Synchron, you're going to have more synchro opportunities with the very bouncy Baby Tiger. Baby Tiger easily summoned from the grave. More synchro summon opportunities. Maybe you could give up the Dark Verger skill and actually put some more thought into your synchro plays with Junk Synchron. That's pretty much my, that's it for the ban list. What are my overall thoughts? Preventative measure on Silent Sword Slash. Little slap to spellbooks. Baby Tiger was fluff. And I'm really upset that Canadia was not on the ban list. What the hell, Konami? I am sick and tired of Canadia. Is Canadia overpowered? No, but I'm sick of it. Ban list is supposed to freshen up the game, and Canadia is everywhere. Canadia is going to become even more relevant as Synchro Summons become more relevant. It helps Synchro Summon. It helps prevent Synchro Summon. It's so safe being able to flip a monster face down so it can't use its card effects. It's like an effects negation, synchro enabler, synchro disabler. It does everything. It's too much. But once again, I'm also not saying it's broken. I'm just sick and tired of it. In the TCG, if any card became close to a staple, like Mystical Space Typhoon and Book of Moon, flip a card face down, that's all it does. This card got hit by the ban list. It's time to hit Canadia. And I definitely think it's not cool, while not hitting Canadia, to not include it in the leaks, in the selection box. Canadia should have been reprinted. I think so. I think so. They know exactly what they're doing, because if you go on the most popular card ranking, it is the #1 most used card. I have a bakery, okay? I'm selling chocolate chip donuts. It is our #1 seller. Everyone's coming in. It doesn't matter that I made the donuts like 6 months ago. It is selling like crazy. It is my top seller. Would I be an idiot to reprint it, right? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to reprint it. So I think it's kind of a scummy business move. I think it should have been reprinted, but they're still making good money off Canadia. And now when you try to go for Canadia, you're going to be pulling mass changes and Ankis that you're already getting from the selection box. So you what, mate? Not cool. Bad. Bad, Konami. Bad. And that is my overall review of the ban list and the skills. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick ban list and skill update. Don't forget to thumbs up the video and donate and subscribe and share, email chain this crap, do whatever. Dkayed Brigade out. Thank you, you fools.